Well, what do we have here? It's an episode of The Diary. I'm Scott Johnson. Hold on one second. I got the winter throat clearing going on, you know. It's kind of gross, so I won't talk about it anymore. Hey, what's going on? You guys, I just got back from the gym. I'm a little energized. Where are my glasses? Oh, I can't find them. They're upstairs. That's great. Anyway, yeah, I went to the gym, and boy, you know, what they say about the gym is true. That it gets just too crowded this time of year. You know, everybody's having their New Year's feelings of, I got to change stuff. I just ate a whole turkey the other night for Christmas. I better, you know, get myself into shape or whatever. So the place is just like packed. And this is a place that on the rest of the year is kind of average. It's no big deal. But today may have not have been the best day to go. Also, the guy doing weights next to me, we were doing hand weights. I'm over there with my 25s, you know, for these guns of mine. And the guy next to me is doing like, these were easily like 120s or something. They were big old fatties, these weights. And he's just going, and he smelled like elk jerky. And you might say, Scott, well, why not just beef jerky? Why not just jerky? I've had elk jerky. If you've had elk jerky, then you know it's got a unique olfactory quality to it. It's not the same as just beef or some other jerkied animal. Elk is, I mean, some would say gamey. I don't think that's the right word. It's just got a real vibe, and it's very unique to its vibe. Like, I don't know of another kind of cured meat that quite holds the sway that elk jerky smell does. And for whatever reason, this guy smelled like elk jerky. Look, for all I know, the guy hunted elk this year. He's now reaping the benefits of his catch. He's got a carcass in the garage hanging, you know, in the cold. And then he's stripping this stuff off, making his own elk. You know, I don't know what he's doing. I'm not here to assume what people are doing with their lives. I am here to tell you, though. So I can smell you, bro. And it is, whoo! So anyway, after I finished that, I get out of there. Did other stuff. Anyway, it was fun. Went with Kim. Had a good time at the gym. All right. So you might say to yourselves, Scott, where have these diary episodes been? And I would say, I've been busy. I've had a lot going on. No excuses, though. I would like to keep them up, of course. And I wanted to at least get one or two in before the end of the year. Today's the 27th of December. Christmas is over. New Year's is on the horizon. There, you can taste it. You can smell it, like the elk jerky guy, you know, coming at you full speed, ready to go. 2025, baby. This is a good time for me to report on a couple of things. I can't remember what our last episode is about, but I think we talked a little bit about how I was shutting out as much negativity as I could in my life, in the aftermath of this year's election. And some people are just like, oh, I'm going to go into your hole and cover your eyes. And it's like, okay, you're missing the point. So let me re-explain what I'm doing just briefly. I'm focusing on what I can control and influence, and that's it. That's all it is. Fighting with randos who I'll never meet face to face, who I'll probably never have another conversation with, whose conversation will probably end in a mute or a block anyway. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done with that. And so that was the gist. That was the upshot. All right. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It really is just about accepting some basic truths and accepting some basic falsehoods. Falsehoods being that social media is somehow required for us to exist and to have conversations like we haven't done that for many thousands of years of human history prior to that. That's just recorded human history, you know? So I no longer buy into that BS. And I'll report, I'm pretty happy with Blue Sky, because Blue Sky gives you a suite of tools, of features that let you just curate your footprint out there. I really only get what I want and who I want. And that's it. And that's what I want. It's an echo chamber, Scott. No. Well, okay, fine. Call it what you want, but it's my echo chamber. And yeah, come on in if you want. Come echo with me. But I'm done with just like random draggings and bullshit conversations about. It's just I'm done. Anyway, so that was the upshot of that, right? Well, here we are some time later, and I get to report as to whether this worked or not, or what the outcome was of an action like that. And it turns out, good news is, I'm more upbeat than ever. I am more excited about projects and cool stuff coming in the new year than ever. I am less drugged down by the state of anything. And again, someone out there's going, well, it's because you're ignoring the truth, Scott. The truth is out. You're ignoring. No. I have a very limited time on this planet. We all do. Life is so freaking short. They tell you that when you're a kid, but when you're a kid, you're just like, whatever, dude. What do these old people know? They don't know. I'm going to be here forever. Summer vacation from school is 1,000 years, and I'm there, baby. Woo! You know what I mean? Nope, it's not true. The old people were right. It's very fleeting, very temporary. And my goal in this temporary state is to maximize it to the extent that I can. I want to make great things. I want to be an important pillar for my family and for their burgeoning little families. And really, that's it. Everything else is gravy. So it's working. It's working to do what I did. Now, does it mean I'm stayed uninformed? No. I knew all about the CEO shooting. I know all about other stuff leading up to the transition for the administration. I know all about local happenings and this and that and the other thing. That's all still happening. I have my sources. I still do that. But what I'm not doing is wallowing in it and yelling at everybody about it and constantly just having wrestling matches with strangers about it. It's just, that is all that's changed, really. And what I expose myself to, how much of that I expose myself to. And it wasn't easy. The temptation is real, but I'm doing better. Like, I'm just happier. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Hey, Scott, why don't you melt all this down to the point, which is I am happier after doing what I said I was going to do. I have more energy. I feel better. My relationships with those who I do have sway or relationships with is 1,000 times better. And I'm just feeling really good about everything right now. That doesn't mean I don't have some civic mindedness that says, be here for those who need you. Don't turn your back on the less fortunate or able or those in vulnerable position. I understand all that. That's not going to change. In fact, if anything, I'll do more of that because I know where I can do it. I can do it on the ground. I can do it here. I can do it where the rubber meets the road. Not keyboard warrior style on freaking Facebook. Which, by the way, have you guys noticed this? I go to Facebook very rarely. When I'm there, it's either community stuff in the Frog Pants stuff or it's a family thing, or my sister-in-law posted photos, or, hey, how you guys doing? I hope you had a good Christmas, that kind of stuff, right? That's usually what it is. Or you find out a birthday you forgot about. Like, that's the extent of it. But just for fun, go to your main timeline and tell me what you see. Because what I see, and maybe it's because I'm barely ever there, so they're just feeding me whatever. They're shotgunning content at me to see what I like or something, and I'm just not hanging around very long. But chum ads? If you don't know what a chum ad is, at the bottom of a lot of websites, usually the bottom, although sometimes it's everywhere, but at the bottom of a website, you have like a collection of anywhere between, 6 and 9 ads, usually gridded out down there. And it's stupid stuff like, gotcha headlines like, George Clooney says this is the secret to his handsome face after all these years. And then you're supposed to click it. And the next one's like, this woman put a mouse somewhere and it turns out now that mouse is her husband, or, whatever bullshit is there. And they call those chum ads, right? Lowest of the low. Only the stupidest people click on them. lowest common possible denominator type ads, a numbers game in itself, right? If you have enough people see it, 10,000 people see it, 3 people click, it was worth it because you got the 3 people and that was worth it because the cost of entry is so low, blah, blah, blah. You understand what I'm saying? Chum ads, right? You go to Facebook right now, my entire public feed looks like chum ads. And I'm not kidding. I'm not like, that's not an exaggeration. The only part that's exaggerated is every once in a while it'll be my mom or it'll be my aunt, Connie, or somebody will pop in and go, oh, lovely weather in the valley today. And then you move on to another, what looks like a chum ad. And most of it's AI stuff. And it's all garbage. And I know there's a term for this, the enshittification of the internet and all this. But it does make me question what Meta is weird because this is still their chief product. I think, like, maybe I'm naive to how the financial world works. Once you've got your many billions, now it doesn't matter what you do. I don't know. But Facebook still, as far as I know, is their chief concern in terms of revenue. And so just letting it go like this it seems like such weird behavior to me. And I know they push really hard for, their real darling, I guess, is probably, Instagram. They've owned it for almost 20 years now or something, 15 years, 10 years, whatever it is. And now, they're trying to do stuff with Threads, but for the most part, don't get me started on Threads. Threads really turned a hard corner for me in a negative way. I really don't like Threads. Turns out I don't like Meta. Turns out I feel like Meta, aka Facebook, call them what you want. They're just a mess. And I know, the VR side of it and buying Oculus and do all that, I know they got other stuff. They're doing other things, but man, that's just it's really bad. Like when your whole site is chum ads, fake AI images where your only replies are either bots or old ladies who are like, what a beautiful couple. I'm like, it's not a beautiful couple. It's a fake couple. Just take a second. Look at his hand. He's got 14 fingers. Look at her face. Her left eye is split into 2. For some reason, she got 2 pupils. What is this? The Substance? I'm not recommending that movie, but I did see it. Oh, man. Anyway, do you see what I'm saying? It's a mess. I don't like it. And you know what else I don't like right now? Scott's on a stump here. Soapbox. Let me get up on here. It's got my shoe size right here on this box. Amazon stuff, like consumer focused stuff. Like let's take Apple as an example, or Samsung, Sony, anybody who's sort of consumer facing with their products for the most part. They may have a lot of big business stuff in the background, like Apple's got stuff that they do that doesn't have anything to do with consumers, but same with Microsoft, everybody else. But for the most part, they're facing, they're customer facing, consumer facing. And there tends to be some cohesion in your product line for the most part. You try to curate, the word ecosystem gets overused, but you try to curate that so that you've got a pleasant place to be and the things you expect happen and that sort of thing. And so if you're using their product, it usually makes sense that it's doing what it's doing and connected to something else. That makes sense. It's sort of a loose, sensible way of, working with you as the buyer. I don't think Amazon understands that, or at least I don't think they have a centralized vision. Their strategy is weird. Services, hardware, all of it. Like it's one thing to buy things on Amazon. That's, again, their core business. I get it. But everything else seems just weird. Like, all right, we're going to buy Audible, we're going to buy Goodreads, and we're going to buy Comixology. Makes sense. It's Amazon, a company that started by selling books online. That was their whole thing, right? In the 90s. That was their whole start. So it makes sense. That's a core competency, maybe even a core value of theirs. Literacy, books, it's sensible. Whether they mean it or not, it's sensible. Okay? And then all of that is such a mess. It's a huge mess right now. First of all, every Kindle device I have up until I don't have the most recent, but man, those things are slow and problematic. I've had to return 2 Kindles. I'm kind of done actually with my Kindle. I've been burnt. I'm done, I think. The Echo line, I can't figure out where their heads are at with that. And I know they've got some new fandangled, version of the A-word AI software coming that's supposed to improve all that, but it just feels sloppy and unconnected. And I don't know if you've tried to use the Kindle Comixology combination app. It's a nightmare. If you're a comic book reader, it's really hard to be there. It's not good. Everything that was good, they've taken out somehow and made it bad. The Kindle library and how it works and how you get it on other devices is really goofy. And I know some of that is an Apple and the Google fight they have all the time with like who gets fees and stuff. I understand that, but it's not very, not only user friendly, but it just feels borky. and that's my biggest beef. And Audible too. Like Audible's not what it used to be. It's just this weird, like perfectly sensible, get all those properties, put them under your wing, and let's make this all work. And then they just kind of don't. They just half-ass it and kind of make it half work. And I don't know who's in charge of that stuff. It's just messy. Anyway, why am I going off on this stuff? I don't even know why. This wasn't even what I was coming here for today. Anyway, I guess here is what I was going to come here for. And that is to say, my change in how I use social media, how I consume media in general, has been a net benefit for me, and I think everyone who has to be around me. It has helped me see that it was making me cranky for no good reason. It was making it so after a long week, we'd have a date night with my wife, and we'd go to dinner or something, and I'd just be quiet and kind of schlumpy. And I wasn't even noticing that I was doing this. And I would usually go, well, it's because I'm on the air all the time. I'm always just kind of pooped. Meh, right? Whatever. I don't think that was it. I think it was because what was coming in was coming out. You are what you eat, literally, and you are what you consume. And I think consuming, or at least putting myself in position to be exposed to so much negativity was really, really not great. And, certainly just prior to this decision, I wasn't like, it was still better than it had been in the past. Like if you'd asked me all this in like 2017 or something, I mean, that was the worst. I was not, I was naive. I didn't understand. And I thought it would matter if I argued online. I thought somehow that people would turn or at least look inward and go, oh yeah, you know what? He's kind of right. I thought that would happen. No, it doesn't work that way. Not at all, in fact. So it's a complete waste. I have regrets. I can't tell you how regretful I am for who knows how many thousands and thousands of social media replies and posts. Just for what? What did it do? Many of them were about art and creativity and fun stuff. And you know what? Don't regret any of that. Weird. Isn't that weird? Don't regret one of those. Even if they never got any interaction, even if nobody said a thing about one of them, that felt like noble. That felt like a noble cause. That felt like a reason to keep going. Everything else, what a waste of finger movement. What a waste of hitting enter. What a waste of reply guy. What a waste. Absolutely stupid in the end. For me, okay, I'm not trying to apply this to everybody. Like I said, the last time we talked about this, I'm talking about me here. That's what this show's about. I'm talking about what I'm doing and thinking. It is not me trying to tell you what to do. You do what you do. If you like, I know people who like this. If you like going online and just farting around with strangers and yelling at them and getting yelled at and just threatening each other by the end and blocking, if that's fun for you, if that's a thing you enjoy or you get stimulation out of that, I'm not here to argue with you about it. Like go for it. You already are. You're in there. Go for it. Don't mind me. All right. But I can't do it anymore. I even had somebody here recently say, Scott, one of the reasons that your success in the content creation world is, it's good, but it's not like, over the top exploded. Oh my gosh, viral, this and that, is because you don't do enough negativity. You don't go after stuff. You don't do clickbait. You don't do, stuff that's going to rile people up. And he's right. Now, he was arguing that I should do it more, but I'm arguing the opposite. That's not worth it to me. The other day, somebody said, I wonder how that Haka Girl feels about this mess with the crypto coin that she pushed, and then it crashed, and now she's getting sued, or I don't know who's actually getting sued. I guess her whatever group got her doing it. And people's answers were, "Oh, she'll be fine. She's got all this money now. She'll be good." Or if I were her, I'd just use my money and disappear. You know, all these sorts of things. And that is weird to me. And this is why I will never be Captain Viral with the rage bait, because I don't know how you then go about the rest of your day and feel okay about it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not using this as throwing shade on her. I mean, maybe it is inadvertently, or maybe it is overtly, but I'm saying that if it were me, it would be hard for me to sleep, to look my kids in the eyes, to kiss my wife goodnight. Like I feel like my life would be harder because I just feel guilty all the time about spreading Shmoo. You know what I mean? And you don't have to use her for example. Just anybody out there whose money, like follow the money. Their entire career is based on their just like huge negative takes or aligning themselves with really controversial stuff, whether they really believe it or not. That takes a certain kind of conscience or lack of, and I just don't have it. I'm a puss when it comes to that. That's why I've always said I'm a terrible liar. If somebody says, like, even if I'm just playing a joke on somebody, I'll go, "Hey, those shoes look funny, just kidding." Like I can't even finish the sentence without inserting a just kidding. Like how you think I'm going to be able to go, "Well, I heard there's a rumor floating around that the CEO of Sony effed a chicken in the park," or whatever. I can't think of a good example, but I can't do that. Who's doing that? I guess a lot of people are doing that. I have the firm belief, maybe I'm naive, but I have a belief that you can build community, you can build relationships and true friendships online and really blow stuff out and have a meaningful existence with your audience without going there. I think you can. It may not end up being the largest audience or the most controversial or the one that grabs headlines or the one that makes BuzzFeed lose their mind or wherever you're getting your exposure. You know, it may not lead to that. But I've been doing it long enough. I think I'm okay with that. I just need to pay my bills and be a decent citizen and get my taxes in on time and not be in debt. And if I can do those things, then that's all. I'm not asking for more than that. You know, I want peace when I'm not on the air. I want to feel good about what I said today. And when I make mistakes, I want to be able to admit to those and say them and not have that be like, "Oh, yeah, you got him." Like I'm done. I'm done in trying to chase any of that. And I was never good at it anyway. So it's, whatever. But now there's just like, why would I even consider doing like, like if I really wanted to go, let me tell you something I know to be 100% true. And then we'll finish this thing because you guys are probably tired of my voice today. Here's what I would say. If I really wanted to go nuts, say within a very specific niche community, and let's say it's the World of Warcraft community. If I wanted to, I could do an offshoot of the instance that is focused entirely on nothing but the controversies, nothing but what angry stuff is happening in the forums, what some blue said that pissed everybody off, some rumor about a guy internally who's doing something terrible, how Blizzard screws everything up constantly, how the game's broken. I could do that. Okay, I could do that every day, and I guarantee you, I'm more sure of this than almost anything else I could tell you right now. I guarantee you that would net me explosive new levels of listenership. It would take off on YouTube like crazy, and it would mean more revenue for me. But here's what else it would mean. It would mean that I know that I'm manipulating, and I can't live with that. It's already hard enough for us, for me, I don't want to talk for other people. It's hard enough for me to live with things like I forgot to call my sister on her birthday. Something simple like that, right? If I know I'm stirring up shit, and then I do that because I know I will profit from stirring up shit, then I am part of this problem that I hate so much. And I don't want to be it. I don't want to do it. I won't do it. There's more important things in life. I've grown up in a culture that thinks that if you succeed financially, regardless of how you did it, you're better somehow than everybody else. And it's just fundamentally broken, that idea. It's fundamentally borked. And you could say, well, Scott, you wouldn't be saying this if you were raking it in, like some, if you were the next who's huge right now, PewDiePie or something. He's not really the big deal anymore, is he? But anyway, whatever. I'm just as an example. I'm not trying to throw shade. I don't care. But sure, I probably would be saying different because I would have gotten there and been okay with getting there. So of course I would be. That's part of the problem. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why this show exists. This is a place for me to suss this stuff out and talk about it and think about it, So I should say this. I want to say a big thanks to everybody who listens to this. I know it's a small percentage of the overall listeners of the network that even check the diary out, and I appreciate that you do. And I just want to thank you for a great year. We had a really good year this year. All those bills I mentioned got paid. That means co-hosts got paid. That means that, we kept the lights on and got where we needed to go, largely on the backs of contributions from listeners, Patreons, and people buying stuff in the store and just supporting us in the way that you could. And if you couldn't, you still listened, and that meant something because it meant more views, it meant more downloads, it meant more opportunities. Like, it's all of these things matter, and I'm just really grateful for it. So for this little stretch of this little peaceful stretch of capitalism that we've camped on, where we're not trying to rule the world, but we are trying to do something, I just appreciate you allowing me to be that thing that gets to make something. My 11-year-old dreams are essentially came true. And have been true now for 18 years or more. And I'm just forever grateful for it. So thank you all for that. And thanks for listening to this. And I hope to talk to you all soon. And I wish you nothing but an amazing end of your Christmas week and a crazy new year next year. All in good ways, of course. Hopefully we'll all be doing this together. And maybe one more of these before 2025. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But until then, stay out of trouble. And send me your feedback. Go to frogpants.com/contact. Or /diary. Either one will get you ways to contact me, and I'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts. They're fun to read on the show. I have some backed up right now. I will get to those next time. But thanks for everything you do. We'll see you next time.
Those pants are made for frogging, if you know what I mean. I actually don't. Frogpants.com.